So here's an example or an explanation of finding the derivative of a function. Now, when we're finding the derivative of this blue function, what we're really trying to do is find the gradient of this tangent. Now, this is a secant. A tangent only would hit the curve once, but this is a good estimation of the tangent or the gradient of the tangent. How would we get a better one? We would let this get closer and closer and closer and closer and closer and closer to A, and that would be a better estimation. So let's have a look at what we've got here. This point here is x and f of x. So x, f of x. And this point here, all we've done is instead of x, we've looked at x plus h. And when we substitute in, we get f of x plus h. So what is this length here? This length is h, because the difference between this value, x, and this value here, which is x plus h, what is the difference here? The difference is f of x plus h, this value here, minus f of x. So this length here is f of x plus h minus f of x, and this length is h. So if we were looking at the gradient of this line, which is just the rise over the run, the rise over run is this divided by that, and that's exactly how we get this formula. The slope of AB is f of x plus h minus f of x over h. And as this becomes closer and closer, we get a better and better estimate. So if we look at the rise, that's the rise, and as we move that in, it gets smaller and smaller, or we can move it out. We've got the run is 3.8, so as we move it in, both of those get smaller and smaller and smaller, and at some point we get to a limit. And what is the limit in this case? The limit is, well, at the moment it's 3.8, but as we get smaller and smaller, we get an answer. So hopefully, I'm not sure if we can move the A. We can move the A as well there. We can take the A down to 2. And again, that would give us a very good estimate of the slope of the tangent at x equals 2. And that's what we're looking at. And that's why we look at the limit of this function here as h tends towards 0. Hopefully that has explained some of the stuff